let's jump right in with today's episode. Be your brand. Okay, all joking aside, what I mean by be your brand is just about everywhere you go, your brand, and in this case, your books, should go with you. Somehow, some way, shape, or form, anybody around you should know that you are an author and that you have books to sell. So this can be in the form of printed t-shirts. Here I've got one. It's got a QR code on it that links directly to my email list. So while I'm standing in line, socially distanced of course, people don't have to say anything to me. They don't have to ask any questions. They can just casually scan the code on the back of the shirt and it takes them to my website. Then they have the option, of course, of putting in their email information and joining my list. I have this one. It's basically just a logo tee. So it's my name and the logo that I've chosen as an author. And I walk around. I will get people who stop me and say, oh, so you're a writer. And then I'm able to talk more about what I do, the books that I have available, and so on. And then lastly, I have this one that I got made for my most recent book released. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to do that. Link in the description below. But anyway, so I wore this one in advance of the release of the book. And again, simple QR code. People can scan without having to say anything or without having to be right up on me. And again, it takes them to a promo page. I found the t-shirts to be a good way to keep my brand visible while I was out running errands or going to any, really casual outdoor events where I knew there were going to be a lot of people. So speaking of being visible, do you have a printed and bound version of your book? I know a lot of authors are choosing, to go digital these days, and that's all well and good, but if somebody's reading your book on their phone or with a Kindle, that's not advertising. Nobody else can see that they're reading your work. So if you don't have a printed and bound version of your book, I highly suggest you get at least one, right? And on those occasions where you find yourself out and about, let's say you're standing in line at the coffee shop or you are grabbing a bite to eat, at an outdoor cafe or something, you can sit with your book and be seen reading it. Now, what I typically do is I will find public places to review the proof copy that I get back from the printer. I'll sit down with a highlighter, red pen, and I will go through that proof, making sure that to catch any last minute grammatical errors and whatnot. But I'm also out in public with this book in my hand, and I'm then advertising not only the book, but I'm also advertising the fact that I do editing work for clients. So it kind of, I hate the expression killing two birds with one stone, but that's pretty much what I'm doing is not only am I advertising the fact that I have, that I'm an author indirectly, because of course nobody's going to know just with me sitting there that I'm the one that wrote it, but they will see me marking up this book. They will see the title of the book. They'll see my name, the author's name, and it could prompt them to then go look it up. And upon looking it up, ta-da, you discover that I'm a self-published author and I also work with new writers. So yeah, always suggest that you have at least one printed and bound version of your book that you can be seen in public with. All right, since we're still talking about visibility, I wanted to point out it's not a bad idea to get your brand on your vehicle in some way, shape, or form. Now, I went a little bit to the extreme. I not only have the name of the business and the website on the back window, I also have my author logo on one window, and then I have my coaching logo, my writer's coaching logo on the other back window. And I might have also gotten my car wrapped in a very beautiful purple vinyl wrap to make sure people see the logos and such. Now, of course, you don't have to go quite as far as I did, but you definitely want to have your business, your name as an author, your website, somewhere on your vehicle. Again, doesn't have to be as big and bold as I went, but it's a good idea because you're out and about, you're traveling around, you're going to events, you're doing things. Well, maybe not going to events at this point, but you're out and about doing things. People need to see your brand. And this was just, for me anyway, a really easy way to do that. That's going to wrap it up for this episode. I know with fall just around the corner, at least here in the northern hemisphere, and it looks like lockdowns and whatnot are going to continue for a while. People are going to still be shopping predominantly online, especially, as we head into the holiday season and whatnot. So in the next episode, I will be sure to talk about some of the ways that as a self-published author, you can advertise or do your marketing online. So be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's episode. And in the meantime, before you leave, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that would be very helpful as well. All right, that's it. Thank you, as always, for taking the time to watch my video, and I will see you in the next one.